Hi, I'm Matt Glassman. I'm here at the Elkhart Model Railroad Club to show you my portable DCC box that I take with me on T-Track events and use at home or whatever I need. When I started doing T-Track and stuff, I wanted something that I could take with me instead of having to carry 18 different things with me. I could just carry 2 things with me, and that's more or less where this thing necessitated itself. And then it has grown over the years, and stuff's been added and stuff's been removed. But it still generally has the same basic of what I need. I've got my DCC system, I've got my Wi-Fi. I have a Digitrax PR4 programmer in here, and then an ESU programmer for programming decoders. And then it also has plugs for track out for how we do our T-Track. We use just electrical plugs, so that way we can all just plug into it, and I can bring up JMRI, and we can have 16 phones running and have 16 people running trains on T-Track. It has everything generally that I need one or have to have, whether I'm building something or programming something or testing something. It's all right here and portable. And then it's got Wi-Fi on it though, so then I can flip one switch and I can go back to my DCC and run whatever I want to run. And while this track is separate from these plugs, so if we have a T-Track layout set up and 30 people are running trains and somebody needs something programmed, I can get on here and program it real quick without messing with the layout at all. I can program it and make sure, and actually flip power onto these tracks and make sure everything works just fine before they put it on the layout. It's got its own power strip in there with a USB outlet, so that way I can charge tablets and stuff like that.
Matt, how many decoders can you program with that portable unit?
Effectively 2. Tsunami is still giving me fits, and and I'm thinking that's more because this booster's the first time this booster came out, so it's low power and it doesn't go up to the CV ranges that these Tsunamis go up to. And so that's kind of why I've really strung with ESU. It's just because I've got the programmer, so if I need to program something, I can flip one switch and bring it up on the computer, and I can do my programming, and I'm done. And JMRI will work, but it struggles. Even hooking the PR4 directly to like the Tsunami, it still struggles. Bypassing all of this, and it still has a very, very hard time. It'll read, but it doesn't like it. I don't know if that's a Soundtrax issue, Digitrax issue, a little bit of both. Every time I see them programming it on Soundtrax's YouTube videos, they're using NCE as opposed to Digitrax.
The Soundtrax, that's what's in Bachman, right?
It's a scaled down Soundtrax, but yeah, it's a Soundtrax. It's a Soundtrax, but it's got a lot of the features dumbed down. And then, like if I need to program just a random decoder, generally if it's like an ESU, I've got this little board here that I can plug whatever decoder I need to into it and just program it right from there. I don't even have to have a locomotive on the track. I can just do it right from here, and it just makes it a little bit faster.
And what's that board?
That's the ESU tester, and it tests the motor, sound, and 12 lighting functions. And it's got the 8-pin output, 6-pin plug, a standard wired connection, next MTC 21, next 18, and Plux 22, and then it's got a plug on the side of it, so you can do the larger decoders for like your LGB, G scale, O scale. So yeah, you can put the bigger low sound decoders in them. Yeah.
So you could program a decoder on that thing and test it and everything before you ever has to go to the locomotive.
I can do everything on that tester before it ever sees the locomotive. So that way, if somebody wants me to do a decoder and they just give me the decoder, I can program it, make sure all lights work, make sure all the functions work, bells, whistles, air compressor, make sure everything works. Then I can give it to them knowing that it's going to work once they plug it in or hook it up or whatever.
It's got a speaker on it too?
Yep. Yep, it has a speaker on it, has a motor on it, has a sugar cube speaker, a motor, and then there's 12 surface mount LEDs on it to show that what functions are on and working. And if you've got it set up for a flash rate, it'll flash on and off. It won't. I mean, you won't see like the Mars light flashing, but you see it flashing on and flashing off.
What kind of cost was it, ballpark?
That was like $70.
Oh, that's not bad.
And then the low programmer was 150, I think it was, something around in there. 150, 160. So,
You can find these.
these switches on the front only mess with these two tracks up on top. They do nothing. They do nothing with the outputs. They only mess with these tracks. So this one's DCC, which is just obviously the DCC system. If I go down, load programmer, so that way if I have something up on the load programmer that I'm testing, I'm running off of this. So I can do a full decoder test. I can run the locomotive forward and backwards on this track with the load programmer.
Well, is it? Do you have a DC or
And then
DCC?
this is telling it.
DCC?
This is telling it if I'm on the load programmer or through the Zephyr.
With the Wi-Fi, you just picking it off a hotspot off your cell phone or what?
This is the LinY, the Digitrax LinY. So that's good. That's good for 4 phones or 4 throttles, we'll rephrase. So any more than that, and you got to buy another one and another one and another one. But it's good for 4 phones. And then that's why I got the PR4. Is so that way I can run the PR4 and then run JMRI.
Okay.
And then if I want to run JMRI, then I could pop up, have a router with me, and
There's no touch
then run as many throttles as I want. Thank you guys for coming. Is there any questions that I can help anybody with?
So you're not connected to the Wi-Fi here through that. That's its own.
No, that's its own
Its own
separate,
thing.
its own separate entity.
Oh.
Good to go.
Do you have to use phones to operate on that, or could you use just like Digitrax cord wireless controllers?
That side of it has a port that you can plug in a corded throttle, but you have to stay corded. It doesn't have. I don't have any of the UART stuff. It's just there. But I can put 2 more hand throttles on there, but you have to stay, unless you have really long cords, you have to stay at the base station.